everyone, welcome back to my little book nook. Today we'll be reading chapter 5 of Shiloh by Phillis Reynolds Naylor. So grab your copy, get comfy, and read along with me. Chapter 5. I gotta take one problem at a time, I tell myself. Problem number 1, where to keep Shiloh hid, solved. Problem number 2, would Shiloh be quiet? Yes, he would. Problem number 3, how am I gonna get food out of the house enough to feed Shiloh twice a day without Ma noticing? The next morning, before breakfast, as soon as Dad's gone, I take a biscuit from the kitchen and a rope from the shed outside and run up the far hill before Ma and Darylyn and Becky get out of bed. This time, Shiloh's on his feet waiting for me, tail going like a windshield wiper, fast speed. A soft yip of pure joy cuts off quick when I say, shh. But as soon as I'm in the pen, Shiloh's leaping up, almost shoulder high, to lick my cheek, nuzzling my hands, my thighs. He gulps down the biscuit I give him. Once more, I can tell, but he don't bark. Seems to know he's safe as long as he's quiet. I tie the rope to his collar. Shiloh boy, we're going for a run, I tell him. To get in and out of Shiloh's pen, I gotta unfasten the piece of wire that holds the fencing against the trunk of the pine, then move the fencing aside long enough to slip out. Shiloh lets me go through first. He follows, and then we're both together, like a six-legged animal pounding along up the path, legs bumping. Shiloh leaping up to lick my hand. I let go of the rope and I let Shiloh run free for a while. If he goes ahead even a few steps, he stops and looks back to see if I'm coming. If he stops to sniff at a tree or a bush and I go on by, his feet pound double time to catch up. Just out of the woods on the other side of the hill, there's a meadow, and I slump down in the grass to rest. Shillow's all over me, licking my face, sloppy wet. I giggle and roll over on my stomach, covering my head and neck with my arms. Shiloh whines, nudges his nose under my shoulder, working to roll me over. I laugh and turn on my back, pulling Shiloh down onto my chest, and for a while we both lay there, panting, enjoying the sunshine, belonging to each other. What'd you do today? What did you do today? Today, Marty, Dad asks as he gets out of his Jeep late that evening. Oh, looked for groundhogs up on the hill, fooled around, I tell him. How's the can collecting coming? Found some a couple days ago. Saw some bottles in the ditch now down near Doc Murphy's, Dad says. I'll go take a look, I tell him, and set out with my bag. I have to keep on collecting cans, enough to cover some money for meat and bones from the grocer down in Friendly. The bigger Shiloh grows, the more he'll eat. When I get back home, supper's on the table, and I slip into my chair just as Dad asks the blessing. Dear Lord, we thank you for the food you've provided for our table. Bless it to nourish the good within us. Amen. Ma picks up the meat loaf and passes it around, and the meal begins. I eat about half my supper, then say, I've been getting this sort of full feeling at dinner, Ma, and then I'm hungry again before I go to bed. Ma don't even look up. Well, don't eat so much at dinner, then, and eat again before bedtime. Food will be Food will be all gone by then. There's always cornflakes or something, but I get hungry for meat and potatoes later. Save some back then. Darylyn will eat it. For goodness sake, Marty, says Ma. Who wants cold meatloaf? Darylyn says. Fork continues clicking on the table. Becky keeps on digging her fork in her boiled potato. No one looks up. No one pauses. Not one person even questions. Easy as falling off a log. I get up from the table finally and put some more meatloaf and half a potato on the saucer. I'm putting this in the fridge, dear Lynn, I say. Don't you go picking at it. I won't, I told you, she says. I go into the other room and sit down on the sofa. So far, so good. You seem restless, Marty, Ma calls. Me? Heck no, I got lots to do. Where's David Howard this summer? Haven't seen him around. I think he went to Tennessee to visit his uncle. Where are Fred? Michael? Haven't seen Fred. Michael's gone to some kind of camp. You're not lonely? How can I be lonely with the whole outdoors to play in? I answer. I wish they'd get off my back. You can ride along to work with me again any time you want, says Dad. I pick up the comic book I bought a few weeks ago back. I want to go, I'll let you know, I tell him. Gradually, the kitchen clatter dies down. Dad belches and goes out on the back porch to look at the sky, same as he always does. Becky's fooling with her food, and Ma sends her away from the table. Darylyn giggles at Becky and gets asked to clear the dishes. I wait until everyone is out of the kitchen and sitting around on the back porch to catch up the breeze. As usual, Becky and Darylyn whoop and tumble around in the grass, glad for an audience, and after I sit a respectable amount of time, I say, Think I'll take my gun and go up the far hill a while. What you figure on shooting this time of evening? Dad asks. Just working on my aim, I tell him. See how good I can hit when the lights dim. Don't you ever never aim your gun toward this house or yard, Ma says. I'll point it dead away, I promise. I go back inside for my gun, slip the leftover food from the saucer into a little plastic sack, and set off up the hill. The sounds of my sister's shouts and giggles behind me. Again, as I get near the pen, I hear soft, happy yips, but as soon as I say shh, the noise stops. The only noise you can hear is the swishing of Shiloh's tail hitting the fence, the soft pat of his paws as he leaps up in the air in sheer, pure happiness, the sloppy slap of his jowls, together as he gobbles down the supper I bought him, and then he commences to slobber love all over me as well. I unhook the wire, push the fence open, and lead Shiloh to the stream for a drink, filling the pie pan with fresh water. When I lead him back to the pen again, I can tell he's disappointed, wanted to go for a run, but I give him enough hugging and squeezing, petting to last the night, with the promise of another run through the meadow the next day. I'm halfway down the hill when I remember I haven't fired my gun once and wonder if Dad will say anything. By the time I reach the back porch, though, the whole family's facing down the driveway because there's a sound of a truck motor growing louder and louder. I stop in my tracks, fingers tightening around my gun. Dad, sitting on the edge of the porch, leans forward so he can see. Looks like Judd Travers' pickup, he says. My chest feels tight, like I'm having trouble breathing. The truck pulls up by the side of the house and the door swings open. Evening, Dad calls out as Judd, wearing his old Western-style boots with the sharp heel, gets out and comes over. Evening, he says. You had dinner? Ma asks. I got some leftovers I could heat up real quick. Had me some ribs already, he says. Ain't looking for a meal, Miss Preston. I'm looking for a dog. He sure don't waste any time getting to the point. Now my heart's really pounding. That new dog of yours went off again, Dad asks him. I swear to God, I find him this time, I'm gonna break his legs, Judd says and spits. Oh, come on, Judd. A dog with 4 broken legs ain't no dog to you at all. He's no dog to me at all the way he keeps running off. It's the 4th time he's left the pack when I had him out hunting. I gotta teach him a lesson. Whoop him good and starve him lean. Wonder if you'd seen him. I sure didn't see him on my route today, and you know if I had, I'd put him in the Jeep and brought him to you straight away, says Dad. What about that boy of yours? Think he's seen him? Dad had heard me coming back from the hill, and he turns around. Marty? I stand rooted to the ground at the side of the house. What? Come on around here. Judd's dog's missing again, and he wants to know, have you seen him? His dog? Here in this yard? Haven't seen any kind of dog of any kind in our yard all day, I say, coming a few steps closer. Judd is sure studying me hard, so is Dad. Well, how about when you went out looking for bottles, Dad asks. You see him then? No, my voice is stronger now. Saw that big German shepherd of Baker's that gets loose sometimes, and saw a little old gray dog, but sure didn't see that beagle. Well, you keep an eye out sharp, Judd says. If you see him, you throw a rope around him, drag him over, you hear? I look at him. I can't speak. Can't even nod my head. I would never promise him that. You hear what he asked you, Marty, says Dad. I nod. Yes, I heard all right. Okay then, Judd says and gets back in his pickup. Have any luck hunting yesterday? Dad calls out after him. A rabbit. Saw a groundhog but didn't get it. That new dog hadn't run off. He would have got it for me. He wasn't such a good hunting dog. I would have shot him by now. Sheriff would get on to you if you did something like that, Judd. Law never told me before what I could do with my dogs. They won't be telling me now, Judd says. He laughs, waves his hand, starts the engine, and the pickup pulls away. And that is the end of chapter 5. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Check out my channel for chapter 6 or click the link in the description. But anyways, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you can get notifications when I upload new videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy reading. Bye, guys!